Good morning, everybody who might be there, who might not be there, because this is not supposed to go off till 9:30. But I figured I would start a little early for those that will be watching the show on the replay, and I'm sure some will get notified, and some people just drop in when they see I'm on, and don't even know that I'm premiering these things. So I'm going to do my traditional intro, and I'm going to do a little setup for today a little bit. And hopefully, some people will show up a little early. That's my hope. So here we go. Okay, well, maybe jumping in early ahead of schedule is not the way to do things, and I may have learned something about this. But I got to the seat here about 9:04, and I probably could have went for a 9:05 start or something else. I never thought about putting it on the 15s. I'm one of those guys that thinks in the half hours. You know what I mean? So with that being said, and I'm hanging out here and I see nobody being on, if nobody comes on in the next 2 minutes, I may save this and come back in at 9:30 and be the test. But then again, it would screw the broadcast up, wouldn't it? So can't do that, can I? So a couple things before we get into today's topic, which I really want to set up with a real setup this morning, is today's topic is going to be the YouTube drumming community, and I'm going to be posing a question today about the YouTube drumming community, which is going to read like this. Today's topic is YouTube drumming community. Why do drummers like to be part of community? So really, I think that that's what I'm trying to do. This drum hang really is a place to foster community. I do realize I got in early, so I'm doing a little bit of this chat because I have to do a little chat. So those of you that come in and watch us on the replay, you may want to bounce ahead to where it gets more exciting. But the topic of the drumming community and what drumming community is has really been something that drives me. And I do see a few people have shown up. So good morning, Drum Covers by Bill. And I'm about 15 minutes early, but that's just life today. I'm figured I would come in early rather than wait till 9:30 and be religious about this whole YouTube thing in time. And good morning, Sean Woodley. I'm sure more will be coming. Today's topic is the YouTube drumming community and why do drummers like to be part of community. So I'm looking for feedback from everybody that's watching. Your feedback and your ideas and thoughts on this is going to matter. I had a few thoughts about why drumming community and why it's important to me. So the whole idea of this drum hang is to foster community. And the idea of fostering community is not something new to me. It's something that I've been doing for a long time. And I realized I learned it when I was in college. I learned it probably in high school too. I mean, drummers are funny musicians. They're different than other musicians in that drummers tend to share their secrets with each other and enjoy sharing their secrets with one another. So getting a couple drummers in a room, somebody's always going to say, oh, I do this way, and show it to somebody. And, oh, I do it this way, and let's try doing this, and let's see what, and then, oh, you played it that way. And we get into these kind of discussions and topics because that's what drummers do. Where I find other instruments are not as ready to do that. Good morning, Walton. Thank you for being here from down under today, and it is evening for you. I'm starting a couple minutes early here, but I thought maybe if I jumped in early, everybody eventually bounces in at some point, so somewhere around this time. So anyhow, so today we're talking about the drum community. So, and one of the things I noticed is that drummers like to hang out with one another. And when I was in college, I had a whole group of guys. We all came into college at the same year. And then every year after that, we continued to hang on the university. We had something in common. Drummers share that thing that's in common, where other instrumentalists are not so much. Sometimes they like to be a little more private about what they do, don't want to share their licks, don't want to share their ideas. But drummers seem to be very open to this. And that's where the idea of the drum clinic came from. Because getting a bunch of drummers to come to a clinic and watch somebody talk about just drums, drummers do this. I don't know of guitar clinics or bass clinics that go off the way drum clinics do. Drum clinics are huge events. At least they used to be before COVID. So, uh, what the question is to you guys is, why do drummers want to be part of a community, and do you think that we have a YouTube drumming community out there? And I'd love to get your thoughts on some of this. So, for me, college was a big experience. I'm like 15 guys that were all drummers, and we hung out together. I learned a lot together. When I got out of college, it was the bands I were in. Of course, there was some hanging there, but it's not the same camaraderie as you have with drummers. And then in like the 2000s, when I moved to Florida and I was trying to get acclimated to this place, one of the things I did was I really needed to start something to get to know some of the drummers in the area. And I started this group called Drummers for Jesus, which was an international organization, and I met a whole bunch of drummers that way, which was kind of cool. And it was an opportunity to come down here in the studio and hang. And this studio where I record, I've said this many times on my Ask Girl show, this is a place where drummers like to come and hang. Now I get all kinds of musicians hanging here, but mostly my friends are drummers, so I have a lot of drummer friends that come down here and we just hang and talk about drums and talk about drumming and watch videos and then go share licks off the kit. And that's kind of a common occurrence for what I do, and what I like to do. So drum community is important. Now, when I came into the YouTube drum community, guys like Drum Covers by Bill, big part of that, because I didn't realize there was a community of drummers out there on YouTube. I mean, I realized there were a lot of drummers that were putting out covers and doing things, but I never, ever realized that there were actually a community of people that would watch each other's videos, become friends with one another, and share ideas and thoughts. And that was something that intrigued me. And I think the early, contest that Drum Covers by Bill and Drumman 190 put together was a huge opportunity for the community to create some community and some space. Now, I do notice this about the YouTube drumming community. It's pretty fractured. You got a lot of guys that are great players. They kind of go one way. Most of the guys that play metal like to hang out with the metal guys, and most of the guys that do the classic rock hang out with the classic rock guys. And if you're a jazz guy, you're kind of in another little niche. So I've kind of found my way in all these niches in different ways. But one thing I did find is that for the most part, if you want to be a part of community here, you can find groups of people that will clump together and watch each other's videos. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. So let's see what Sean Woodley had to say today. Sean said, community, I guess you get a chance to meet people you would have never met before and build meaningful friendships. You share gear, techniques, and stories. That's really what my studio hang was always about. When we used to hang out in the studio, we would just be sharing gear ideas and thoughts and all that good stuff. So yeah, that was definitely a big, huge part of what we were doing. And then of course, technique and stories. So Sean also said, I've seen piano players when I tried to take lessons. You see piano players getting together. That's a possibility that there are probably other instrumentalists that do it. I just noticed that drummers seem to cloister together somehow. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have this experience, but I love drum shops just to hang out. I'll just go to the drum shop and just hang out at a drum shop. And okay, I think I'm in some kind of, oh, there I am, back again. It's the internet's doing what the internet does today. I like to just go to drum shops and hang out and talk to other drummers. That's one of the things I really enjoy doing. And I could spend hours at a drum shop. Literally walking the drum shop, looking at equipment and meeting people and talking about drums and sharing why I like this drum versus that drum, or why I like this cymbal versus that cymbal. That's the kind of things I do. So really enjoy that. So we're coming up on 4 minutes to the show. Supposed to officially start, so I'm hoping a few more people come on. But if you guys that are here want to ask a question or start a conversation point, I'm willing to go anywhere we go. As usual, this is the show where your questions make the show, and without questions, we really don't have a show. You know what I mean? So it's just me rambling. which I can only do for so long. Even though I am working on another Ask Girl Anything show. I have about 6 or 7 questions for that, and I'm looking forward to doing that in the near future. I was going to do it yesterday. I even contemplated doing it yesterday and putting it up for today because I had a hair appointment. Now my hair is all dark today. It's funny how that happens. It's this thing called the magic of dye. But as you get older, you don't care about things like that. You just do it because if you stop doing it, your wife's going to stop doing it, and then you're both going to be gray and old. So I decided I'd just try to look younger, slightly younger anyhow. So let's see what we got for comments. Anything new? Good morning. Sean said, piano players don't want to share techniques like drummers. That's been my experience with most other instrumentalists except for drummers. Drummers like to share. So that's a big part of it. So let me frame the question. I'm really trying to get some interaction with people I can't talk to face to face. I tried to bring Drumman 190 on this show. I should have called Bill. If I had your email, I probably would have sent you an email and said, hey, do you want to be on the show? I tried to get Drumman on because he's like the drum community builder of all drum community builders, but he had a lesson this morning that he couldn't get out of, so that wasn't going to happen. But I thought, bringing a few people that could talk about community on would be kind of cool, something to share about and talk about their experience in the YouTube community. So I guess my next question is, do you guys have any experience with the YouTube community? Oh, you want to get on now? That's an interesting concept, Bill. My biggest problem is, thank you for sharing the email, though. I don't know if I have that. Let me see if I can. I'm trying to do 5 things at one time. That's the hardest part of running a live stream, is that whole idea of doing that. Let me see if I can copy this. I should be able to copy it. There it is. Nope. Oh, I got another way, Bill. See if I can forward this to you. Search Bill. Bill, I'm going to send this to you through Facebook Messenger. Let's see if that worked. No, I don't think it did, but I'm going to try again one more time. Bill. No, I did send it to you, Bill. Community is not what it used to be. Fractured is a good term for the current time. Yeah, I think there has been some fracturing of the community, unfortunately. So, and Bill, I think I just sent you a link on your Facebook Messenger, and you might be able to hit that link and actually come on the show. So if you want to jump on the show, Bill, tell me if you got the link, and we'll go with that. I'd love to add a few more people. Adding in real time is the hardest thing, though, for me, doing 2 things at one time. Good morning, everybody that thinks the show started right now. If you just jumped on, identify yourself. We have a few people. We got drum covers by Bill. We got Sean Woodley. We got Walton from Australia, it's evening there, by the way. It's morning here. Isn't that funny how that works in different hemispheres? And it's so cool that we can talk to people in different hemispheres. But Bill did bring up this point that the community is not what it used to be. It's fractured is a good term. I think that's true to some extent from the old community, the way it was a while back. But I do think that something has changed, and I see a new crop of younger guys that are starting to form community, like the Drum Attic, Eric at the Drum Attic, and others that are Eric's friends. Blake is one of them. So there's a couple guys that come on this show and do questions, and they basically are trying to be part of community. Good morning, Keith Scott. Thank you for joining the show. So today we're talking about drum community and that experience. So I do think some of the newer guys that are new to the YouTube are starting to form community again. It's about 4 years ago, there was a really strong community for a while there. Now, I will say that the guys that started 10, 12 years ago, they've got a community because, you see the guys that were the first drummers, the ones that we all look at as being like Cooper drummer, let's say. I mean, Cooper drummer started when he was a kid and then basically got notoriety by just being first. The guys that were in here first got notoriety quickly, but I think he's got notoriety to the point that he's got friends from the early group. So each guy that comes in each different year, they start to create new little groups. So community is splintered, and it's hard to kind of break into these different communities. But I think you're right about our group, Bill. We got splintered a while back, and that hurt. But Drum Man's one of those guys that's kind of plowed through that whole thing, that whole community thing, and kind of stuck with it and made it happen. So, and I still see him today fostering community. His formula is to reach out to new guys, feature them on his shout out shows, and befriend them. And that's helped him in building his subscriber base. Good morning, Eric. Thanks for being on. We are talking about drum community today. How do we get community? How do we create a better community? I'm looking for your thoughts on drum community, but we can talk about other things too. I mean, if topic is me just rambling about it, I'd love to talk about other things because that's what this show is about. This show is about your questions, and your questions make the show. But if you have something that kind of fits in the community vibe, feel free to try to throw something in on that one. So, Bill, did you get that link for me or no? I guess not. I guess you did, because if you did, I think you would try to come on. But I'm trying to copy the link. There's a way to share a link with somebody so you can come on the show, and it's called invite copy. So but I'm not signed into anything on this computer. This is my studio computer, by the way. And the funny thing about my studio computer, I don't really use it for email or anything else. So good. Thanks, Bill. You're working on it. Great. While you're working on it, I probably should grab a set of headphones because I'll probably have to go straight to headphones. Otherwise, feedback will become an issue. But hopefully we'll have Drum Covers by Bill on to talk about community and where we started a long time ago and how he was a big part of forming community way back. But community is something that I think that most of the newer guys are experiencing because that's how you're getting people to watch your videos and sharing your videos. And it's great to have people that actually want to be a part of that. So let's see what Keith Scott has to say this morning. Keith Scott says, the community has kept me doing drum covers. If it wasn't for community, I probably would have quit. Interesting point. That is definitely an interesting point. I think a lot of times if you're not getting any feedback, that's what happens. The funny story about me and early community was I didn't know there was community. That was the funny thing about it. I had no idea there was a community, and the first 6 months I was making covers and lessons and everything, I was just making it for me, and I thought maybe somebody will see it someday. And I think when Drumman 190 found me, I had like less than 100 subscribers. But I would find guys like Walton, Churdoy drummer, and I actually we found each other. Like I saw one of his videos, and then I subbed his channel, and he subbed mine. And there was another guy named Yurhato. What was his last? He had numbers on the end of it, Yurhato. But he was from Japan, and I started following him. And then I found out that there was a drum community. It was on Google Plus that Michael Perry started. And then there was another drum community on Facebook that Ronnie started called Drum On. The Drum On guy turned on and had a Facebook group. And then everybody started putting little groups together. So there is groups out there on Facebook and other places, but Google was a cool place to do it. So you had Tony had a group, and then you also had the one that Michael Perry started. And that was pretty cool. Good morning, CCM drummer. Thanks for being on today. We're trying to talk about drum community. Maybe a little bit more adventuresome topic than I thought I could tackle. But I thought, what the heck? Let's give it a try. Let's see if this is something we can talk about. Good morning, Claus. Welcome to the show today. Okay, I got drum covers by Bill. Now, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put you in, but I'm going to put my headphones on because otherwise I'm going to be in trouble. So you stay right there, Bill. We got Bill coming on. So I'm going to go to headphones. That's going to make this so I don't blow your ears up, everybody. Okay, let's see. Testing 1. Testing 1, 2. Of course, I don't hear myself. Why would I hear myself? That would be too simple. So, well, let's try it. Let's try it without the headphones for a second. I'm going to bring Bill on. Bill, you there?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Are we getting any feedback or echo coming through my speakers?
Not on my end.
Not on my end either. Seems to be working. So how are you doing this Saturday?
Just getting up and moving around.
Hey, riding your bike today?
No, I think we're gonna do yard work today.
I hate yard work, by the way.
Yeah, you and me both.
I totally hate yard work. That's the thing I hate the most. That's why I hired a gardener. It's a little trick you got to know about South Florida. If you can do that, you do that. So, and I was able to do that early on, and I have not let go of that one. I don't even have a lawnmower anymore. That's where I'm at. I gave it to somebody to make sure I wouldn't have to be a gardener anymore. That was the thing. By the way, this is my Father's Day mug. It says drummer, nutritional facts, talent 1000%, unrivaled skill 500%, passion 100%, creativity 300%, off key 0. That's right. Drummers are not
Nice.
off. We're not off key because we're the drummers, and caffeinated 110%. So, Bill, tell share a little bit about community, what it was for you back in the day, and then we can talk about what you said before, that topic about being fractured a little bit.
Well, I just started making covers, and Drumman 190 actually found me, and I kind of jumped in with his community, and uh, it just took off. The community just started growing. Everybody started posting videos and covers, and talking, and Drumman and I started doing contests. We did drum cover of the year for a few years, and then the beat, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That got a lot of people together, and over time, it's like everyone just kind of went their own way, doing their own thing, and I pretty much ran out of songs. I covered every song I ever wanted to cover, so I'm kind of at a point right now. It's like, gosh, I really need to find some new material. So
Yeah. No, I hear you on that one. Um, but when you and Drumman did that, Drumman was younger. He was coming up. He was starting to become a decent drummer. Now he's much better drummer. I mean, he's playing a lot really well now these
he's
days.
amazing. Always
Yeah,
has been.
and he's growing every day. And I think that's part of the whole thing about the community back in the day. We're watching each other kind of grow. You know what I mean? And trying to learn where everybody was at and what everybody could do. Um, and I mean, we got all different skill levels here. You know what I mean? And as long as we can be an encouragement, I always thought that was the key to having community, was being an encouragement. I always felt you were one
Definitely.
of those guys that encouraged people, you know? And I think that should be the goal of community, is to be kind to one another. I say that a lot to people, because there's lots of haters out there. Trust me. I
Yeah, there
mean,
sure are. No
you know,
shortage of haters, that's for sure.
it doesn't take much to find a hater out there.
But
And
most of the haters don't have any of their own drum covers, so
that's correct. Most of them have no drum covers. That's kind of the uh, the mark of a hater. Is usually they'll throw some statement out. So my whole thing with haters is, when I get one of those comments, I click on them, see if they've got anything,
same
and
here.
and then I write back. I said, well, when you make your drum cover of Rosanna, you tell me how. You show me how it's supposed to be done. That's what I usually say to them.
Exactly.
So, good morning, Tate Berkey and S. Goldberg and Eric F. Drums and Claus and CCM Drummer and Keith Scott and everybody that's on the show today. We're talking about community. Bill showed up and I sent him a link and he came on. I wish I could find a way to be better in real time to do that than friends. Luckily you're a friend of mine on Facebook, so that was pretty easy to do. But if I'm not a Facebook friend, it's almost impossible for me to send anything unless I have your phone number or something. I could probably message it to you, but you know that came on pretty easily, right? This StreamYard's pretty simple.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I can see the comments, but I don't see the place to reply to any of them. Uh,
Well,
hey,
there's a place underneath. It depends on if you're on a phone or an iPad or something.
I'm actually on my MacBook Pro. I don't see a spot to respond, so I'll just say hey to everybody. Hey Eric, hey Klaus
Yep.
Isaacson. Uh, Good morning, everybody.
Yep.
Thanks for having me on here, Earl. I wasn't expecting this. It's kind of on the spur of the moment type thing.
Well, most of my better shows have been on the spur, except for I've planned a few out. Tate was on one that we planned, and I had one with Keith that was kind of planned. So Eric's comment is haters are still engagement. Yeah, that's the
Yes.
interesting thing about YouTube is you're looking for engagement. You're looking for people to comment on your videos so that you basically know that somebody's watching, and that's what YouTube looks at as positive, I guess. But none of us feel good about haters. You know, I don't feel good about haters. I mean, I want to do stuff, and I don't need to be patted on the back all the time either. By the way, I'm actually, that's the other part of this whole community thing, and I want to make sure I say this to everybody that I can't get to everybody's videos, and I know you guys can't get to all my videos because I'm an absolute nut when I start putting out videos one a day. I mean, how can you guys follow every one of my videos? But the interesting thing about engagement on YouTube for me, I've looked at my stats. 85% of the views on all my videos are people that are not subscribed. Now, maybe they become subscribers
Yeah.
at some point,
So
but it's like there's this small group, 15% are the community. Those are the ones that are kind of feeding each other. But the rest are people that come in and out, and they don't come in and necessarily stick around. They may come in again at some other point, and they may find you again once they touch you because YouTube keeps feeding your videos to them. But if they don't like you, they'll say I'm not interested. That's one of the things that happens. So yeah, haters are engagement. There's no doubt about that. So that's definitely one of those things. It's true. So Bill, tell us some more about your experience with community. How did you get to know Drumman 190? I mean, you guys became pretty much friends, and you guys were pretty much a support group for a couple years there.
oh
For each
yeah,
other.
I mean, I've met some amazing people in real life as a result of the drumming community. I mean, I've met you, of course. I've been down to your studio,
Yeah.
um, Drumman 190. Met him. He went to his studio. He's actually been here to my studio. Uh, Mike Perry, another great friend that I've met in real life off what started out as just throwing covers out on a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty amazing just to meet some really cool people and make real life friends out of something that just I really when I started this thing I figured I'd put out a couple of videos, be done with it, and grow tired of it, sell the drum set and whatnot. I never expected to be in it for this length of time.
It is kind of funny that drum people love drummers. I say this to my wife all the time because when you watch TV for the last 10, 15 years, I think, you see ads and then you see drummers in ads. There's almost always a drummer in an ad somewhere. It's very, if you're watching a Target ad, all of a sudden there's some kid playing a drum. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
if you watch closely, you'll realize that drums sell. And that's why a lot of these drum videos go viral, and people watch the little young drummer, the 3-year-old drummer playing with the Philharmonic, or the guy with the crazy stick twirls that couldn't play ZZ Top any other way but over the edge, over the top. You know what I mean?
Then you got
So
like Trey B. People like Trey B. They're just completely off the chain. I mean, holy mackerel!
Trey
Uh,
B is absolutely insane what he can do. He's just one
yes,
of
he
those guys.
is.
He's got it. He's got it. I watch his videos to the very end. I'm just amazed at how much the endurance the
Same.
guy's got. He's got such endurance. So Tate said, "I don't mind the comments and people making criticism. It only ever bothers me when it seems like someone wants to talk down like they know better." Yeah, that's another part of the problem here. Somebody always thinks that they know better. That's unfortunately that's part of the internet, though, isn't it?
And
You know what I
again,
mean?
most of those guys don't even have any of their own drum covers that are throwing those kind of comments out there. They have no videos on their channel. So until they can prove that maybe they are really what they say, then
Yeah,
so be it.
yeah. I mean, I think we all take the negative criticism to heart to some extent. That's part of it, and
It's
it's a
like
shame.
it's
Go
like
ahead.
Eric said, it's all engagement. Good comments, bad comments, likes, dislikes. Somebody clicked the button and that's engagement. YouTube likes that. By the way, Eric F. Drums, another great guy, great drummer. I actually was on one of his shows too, one of his interviews. So yeah, something else that come out of the community. There's a lot of good people out there, a
Yeah.
lot of good people.
Yeah, and I remember when Eric started doing a couple of those shows. He had Drum Man on, he had you on, a couple people. It's hard to get these shows to take off, by the way. I think I've been doing this live stream since I guess, March, when I finally figured out that there was a way other than OBS to do a live stream, because Jeff Holden did OBS, and and he was trying to show me how to do it, and I downloaded it. I couldn't make OBS work no matter what I did. So,
Jeff
and
Holden
then
had some of the greatest shows too.
yeah, Jeff is the king of live stream. Some of the
Yes,
stuff
he
he's
is.
done.
I agree.
He's another one that I would love to get on here, because he had me on his show early on that first year, I think. I was fully in the drum cover thing. He had me on that first year, and we talked vintage drums and stuff, and had a blast. It was a lot of fun, and that's part of the hang. That's why when I did this the first week I did this live stream, I had my friend Mike Fasano on, whom most of you don't really know other than through my show. But Mike Fasano is a drum tech to the stars. I mean, he's got an LA drum rental business, and he is in a band called Tiger Army. And I brought him on. He said something about StreamYard, and so did Tate. And I basically tried it out one afternoon, and it went live, and Mike jumped on, and we had fun with it, just like I just did with you, Bill. I dragged him in. And then I had Tate and Chadwick on. And those were all very impromptu things. And the impromptu sometimes is the best, because you just start making stuff up as you go along. And that kind of works, So, but yeah, it's so interesting where we've come, And my show really took off because, I started Ask Girl Anything just because somebody asked me a question like the same. I was getting the same questions all the time. What are your cymbals? What are your favorite drum heads? What are your favorite sticks? And I figured, well, I'll just do a video and do it, because I really don't have a favorite this or that.
That's one of my favorite shows by you too. I love Ask Girl Anything. That's always been one of my favorite series.
It's crazy that it took off, and it's crazy that it's 4 years I've been doing it now. I keep it going. I was going to put Ask Girl on today because I just have to film it. I'm going to film it. Probably next week it'll be Ask Girl, just for this in this segment. I'll take a week.
How many years have you been doing Ask Girl Anything?
It's started in 18, so it's about almost 4 years.
Holy mackerel. Seems like yesterday. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was fun. And that's the only reason I make any money on Google. It's because people watch those talking shows. It's not drum covers. Nobody makes any money on drum covers. You know that. I have like 800 videos on YouTube now, and 600, almost 700 videos I've done drum cover wise.
That's incredible.
But all the talking shows is what people watch, and those are the shows people go back to for the most part. Other than my crazy, I have a couple videos guys watch, like Down Under, dum dum da da dum da da da. That one, people love that video for some reason. I don't know why. People comment nice things too. Let's see what Walton has to say. Yeah, the haters are guys having a bad day using your video to vent their spleen. Yep, there's no doubt about it. A lot of them are. They get jealous too. I had this one guy early on Ask Girl. He wanted me to trade him cymbals and stuff, and he got really nasty with me. And then I realized he stalked me, and then he started batting all my videos, and I think he still does today. So sometimes you have to take those guys and basically turn them off. And the way you turn them off is another art for them too, because you don't want them to know you're turning them off necessarily, because they probably only have 6 subscribers. So when you walk away, they know you're one of them. You know what I mean? So I had another guy like that too. I've just recently turned them off. I'm done. I'm done trying to be nice. It's like, because they're not nice back. Some people are just not nice people, unfortunately. And I live life trying to be nice to people. That's one of my goals in life, is to be nice. If I have nothing nice to say to you, I won't say it to you.
Same.
And if I can't find a nice comment about what you're doing, I won't say anything. You know what I mean? And if I do have a nice comment, that means I'm here just trying to encourage a lot of times, because I know my skill level. I'm pretty good, but I'm not great. I'm not Steve Gadd, that's for sure. I'm not going to be the guy in the LA studios. I'm not going on any tours. I don't have the look for a tour. You know what I mean? But I can play pretty well. I play okay. That's why people must watch some of my stupid videos. But
you're an amazing drummer.
But I don't measure myself to any of the other guys I'm commenting on. I don't say, oh, my stuff's really good. Yours isn't as good as mine. That's ridiculous. that's
I
not
was
being encouraging. You know what I mean?
I was surprised when you said you're actually not a jazz drummer because I always thought you were like the excellent jazz drummer. Uh,
And then I
Seriously.
started getting that rap for a while. You're the jazz drummer. I'm going, all right, let me prove to you I can play a rock tune. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely more of a rock drummer than a jazz drummer. I mean, there's some great jazz drummers out there. I guess that's the other problem with me is that the videos I love to watch and learn a lot from technique wise and music wise are the guys that are really players. Like that's what I loved about YouTube at first. It was you come on and you can find a video with Steve Gadd or Jeff Porcaro, and they're there in front of you. You couldn't find it on television, but YouTube you could find them. You put their name in and they show up. So you can watch, or Vinny Colaiuta. Like, I'll never be Vinny Colaiuta. I don't even want to be Vinny Colaiuta. I mean, Vinny's Vinny. You know what I mean? Let Vinny be Vinny. I can't even try to do his licks. I mean, some of his stuff is so out there, but I love watching that guy play. There's nothing like watching him just whipping around the kit. And there's some videos he does that are not with popular artists. They're not with Sting. They're not with Jeff Beck. They're with artists, YouTube artists that have made a name for themselves. There's I forget this one girl. He did Black or White with this girl. I forget what her name is. She's from L.A. Had this L.A. studio band, and Vinny was just tearing it up on that video. And I go back to that and watch that all the time. It's like I just love watching a great drummer do his thing. You know what I
When
mean?
whenever you decide you want to cover a song, do you ever go to YouTube? Do you have like a specific person you look to see if they've done it to see how they did it? I mean, like when I first started, I always looked at a guy called Green Gene Dancing Machine. I don't know if you ever seen him drum,
No,
but
I'll have to look him up.
incredible. I would look to see if he did it. And I was like, oh man, I love the way he plays it. Do you have anybody like that you go out and look at whenever you think about doing a cover?
Um, to be honest, I usually do my cover, then I look at people.
Yeah.
That's how I do it. I just pick songs I want to play, pretty much. The only time I was actually looking at other drummers was to learn parts for church. Matter of fact, that's when, like in 2011 and 12 and 13 and 14, when I was playing in this one big church and I had to learn the most current, newest stuff. A lot of times I would watch the Hillsong drummer play, and then I would go find somebody that covered it and see how they did it. And I go,
Nice.
oh, that's a different way. That's a good approach he's taken to that. And I would cop something from that. I wouldn't cop the whole thing, but I would just watch it. And that way I'd go to church and then I'd have my idea, my concept down, what I was going to do. And then I'd put me into it, which I always do, you know.
Of course.
And it worked. That worked for me. But that was the only time I remember going and watching YouTube drummers to kind of learn how to play parts. But a lot of guys watch me to learn parts. I get a lot of comments from people saying, "Oh, thanks for doing that. I'm in a yacht rock band, and I really needed to learn how to play." Um, what was that Pablo Cruz song I did a while ago? This one woman wrote me on Facebook, befriended me and stuff, and she was basically talking about how that one song, "What you gonna do when you say goodbye?" That dum dum da da, that song. She basically like watched me play it, and then she learned it for her band. And I'm like, that's
That's
great.
cool.
I'm glad I could
That's
be that.
cool.
That's what this is about. You know what I mean? That's why I put educational purposes, fair use to YouTube, and to Instagram, because when WGM is, or WMG is
Oh,
basically
WM, yeah,
blocking
Women
you.
Music Group.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's crazy what they
My
did to that.
first strike was from WMG.
You
It
got a
was a Viva
strike?
the Blowfish song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they gave you a strike for that?
I got a strike. Yeah.
Wow. I haven't gotten a strike yet, and I just started challenging on YouTube, and I've won a couple times. Matter of fact, this
Really?
week I'm going to get to this comment next from Walton, but this week I did a cover of Simple Minds. Don't you forget about me?
I saw that. That was awesome too, by the way.
Thank you. Thanks.
Wow.
I had a lot of fun with that one, and when I was doing it, when I put it out, I put it out like 5:30 in the morning, like I normally do. Like that's why the guys in Europe find my stuff first usually, because nobody's up in the United States. And I put it out at 5:30 in
I'm
the
sure
morning.
not.
Yeah, I'm up too stinking early. That's what I'm telling everybody. But I put it out and I had no views. I'm like, what's going on here? And then 3-4 hours later, I had like 12 views. So it was allowed to be seen in one country, in some like Malaysia or somewhere, where they probably have like 5 computers on the internet or something. So, but I said, the heck with this. I'm going to challenge this. So I'm starting to dispute YouTube now. And I basically go into my video and I take that little fair use clause I have in every one of my videos and I dropped it in there. I said, this is fair use. And then they released it.
That's incredible.
And it's like, I think that's what we have to start doing. We have to fight these guys because they're full of it now. It's a bunch of
I
crap.
tried that whenever they disputed or whenever they knocked off that first Hootie and the Blowfish cover. I did go through the dispute process, and right away the video came back. It took about 2 weeks, and they ended up rejecting my arguments and giving me a strike, and they took it back down again. So I haven't disputed one since.
See, the only difference between maybe what I do than what you do is I normally don't put them out unless it says it's okay. And this video said it passed the muster to being, being one of those videos that is going to be partially blocked. I thought, okay, it's going to be partially blocked. I can deal with that. Didn't say fully blocked. So I fought it, and then they released it. And I got away with it. But if it says blocked from square one, I normally don't fight them at all. And I've got about 10 or 12 videos lined up there. So
Nice.
in that room. So Walton says, there's always one question I will have to ask when I watch Vinny is where the one is. Yeah, that's the question. That's the question of the day. You never know where the one is going to be with Vinny, but he always makes sure the band gets back in on time right there. That's Vinny completely. So pretty wild. So anyhow, YouTube and WG, I mean, we could talk a ton about that stuff. One of my early strikes was going to be on Steve Gadd's 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. I got threatened to be a strike from them. And that's when I learned the trick. Matter of fact, I think I showed you this video when we were in the studio that was not allowed to be released.
Yep.
They wouldn't let me release it.
Yep.
Yeah, I showed you it. And basically what happened was I tried to publish it immediately to public because that's what I used to try to do. And the trick I've learned is you publish to private and let it get through the copyright stage and everything. And then if
that's how I've been doing it for a while now.
Yeah, you put it in private, and then when you want to release it, you release it. But the funny thing was I was watching Drum Man's teacher. What's his name? Drumlick? Drum
LCK.
Yeah.
LCK, yeah.
Yeah. He put out 50 Ways with the Paul Simon version one day. And it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was browsing YouTube, and all of a sudden I saw him do gun. I was like, that's the Paul Simon version. I'm putting mine out. I ran over to the computer and put it out. I realized they released it. There's no rhyme or reason to what they do. So
yeah, I'm shocked my Hotel California cover hasn't been blocked yet. It's been out for months now with no issues. Surprisingly, I've been waiting to get a strike on that one, but
the other thing I think it is the sound quality. Like, I think Don't You Forget About Me was too much, too close. I think they actually thought it was the original drummer for some stupid reason. I'm like going, you can see it's not the original drummer if you really listen to it, but the bots don't listen. They just see the sound waves. So I'm convinced that maybe I mix too good sometimes, if that's even possible. But I've been told my mixes sound really good. So
oh, they do. They definitely do. No doubt about that.
But I don't want to make my mixes where the drums are so loud and the track is so back. That just doesn't seem like I'm in the music,
Yeah.
And the whole fun for me of making a drum cover is being in the music. That's what I want to do. So, let's see. You guys remember, your questions make the show. We've got Bill here, and I'm going to get some more Bill stories out. So, back to the days of the good old days. Were you part of Michael Perry's community back in that day?
I didn't really take part in any of those Google communities. I stayed pretty much just on YouTube. I didn't really get into any of the Google groups, which they ended up canceling for some reason.
Yeah, because
I
it
remember
couldn't
there were a
compete
lot
with
of groups
YouTube.
out there, and a lot of them got taken away when Google groups went to wherever they just disappeared one day.
Yeah, that was a kind of another strange anomaly. But I think with the presence of Facebook, it kind of wasn't cutting it.
I know. I tuned in sometimes to all classic drum covers. I think that was Tony.
Yeah.
Tony's group. He was one of the first ones I found. I would go in there occasionally and look at posts, some videos, but most of his videos are on YouTube as well. And I was on everybody's YouTube channel. I would watch everybody's videos.
I found it hard to go in multi-platforms. That was my problem. early on. It was like I try to keep my Facebook, and I try to keep my YouTube as YouTube. I did start doing Instagram, and only because I thought it would drive some people to my YouTube channel, and it probably did to some extent. But I don't have a huge Instagram following. I actually have more. I follow more people than follow me at this point. I'm
I'm
trying to
trying to
work
get
on.
into these shorts, YouTube shorts. I'm hearing a lot about these. I don't know how to make them. The only one I have is one of Lynn that we entered in a contest at where she works. Somehow I put it on my YouTube channel and it ended up being a short. That's the only short I've got. I don't know how to put new ones in. I was going to send you a question about that to see if you maybe for one of your Ask Girl Anythings about shorts.
You
Uh,
know, my experience with shorts is really this much. I did it one time. It didn't really get anything. It got like maybe 50, 60 views or 75 views or something in the first day. And if you don't get it in the first day, then it's a waste from what I can tell. It doesn't it's kind of like Instagram. Instagram, if you don't get views on the first day, it goes away because there's just so much content piling into Instagram.
mhm.
You know, on my Instagram channel, and like I said, I only did Instagram as a place to put little clips of what I'm putting up on YouTube. So I have like a link to my YouTube channel in my on my page on Instagram, and I a lot of times hashtag YouTube. It's the place where you do all the hashtag stuff. But I really wasn't getting like any traction. I would get 20, 30 people watching. Now I get like 100 people watching my Instagram. And I guess 100
Nice.
based on the fact I only have 600 and change followers, and I follow less than 800. That's my rule. It's like I will not go over 800. So, because Instagram's a funny place where here's the Instagram world. You basically get somebody, they follow you, and then you see it, and you go, oh, great, I'm going to follow them back. And you follow them back. And then 2 days later, because it's a marketing group that just wants to get people, they unfollow you.
Mhm.
They have you for life
Wow.
because you're not paying attention to this crap. And that happened to me about 3 years ago. And since then, I've been very choosy who I pick. And I usually only follow people on Instagram that I know on YouTube or I know are drummers. And I actually look at their stats. And if I see their stats are 20,000 followers and they follow 150, I'm not following. I'm not going to follow you. You just popped my video because I got in a stream and you found me, and you think I'm gonna be stupid enough to follow you. That's the way I feel about the whole thing. Because in actuality, that's what it is. They're not gonna follow you. They're just picking up followers. So I don't get the Instagram game, but the Instagram game has had the one with the most followers is famous, and the one with if you're following more people than you actually have followers, then you're not really anything on Instagram. You're just a nothing. The only difference is I've got 1,300 videos on Instagram, so somehow I got
Wow.
in there because I don't. My content for Instagram is basically my YouTube content. I take my YouTube content and I just put it on my iPad and I edit it on the iPad to 1 minute clips or less, and that's it. It's easy for me to do. It's really simple. I airdrop it from my computer to my iPad. A couple videos I do in the weekend, then I cut them up during the week. I sit. I don't want to tell you where I do it. I have a very very special place I do my editing of my videos at 4 in the morning. So it's my morning constitutional. I take time to have my constitutional and edit videos. That's how much I think of Instagram, I guess, right? So, but that being said, you know, I have one video on Instagram that had over 1,300 views. It was an Aretha Franklin tune that I did a
Nice.
green screen on, and it just took off. That's the only one I've ever had that kind of took off. The most other views I have is probably like 300 or 400 views. And I look at the guys with a lot of followers, they have like thousands of views, like we get on YouTube eventually. You know what I mean? So it is quite a little game. Let's see what. Good morning, Eddie Cause, for being here. Um, I'm glad you like me. Thank you. Tate said something. You're getting me fired up talking about Instagram. Yeah, you want to? Good. Join in. Let's
I
see what
gotta
else
look
Tate.
into Instagram. I don't even have Instagram. I don't.
It's part of Facebook, so.
Oh, is it?
Um, yep. More than likely, those people who have too many followers have paid for. Oh, that is correct. Now Now, Tate, that is the secret to Instagram. And by the way, every day, one of those groups that sells your video and puts you in the feed, they hit me every day. And all you have to do is respond back to them, and they'll basically say, "Send me $15, and I'll get you 1,000 views today." And I'm not paying for somebody to watch my videos. You don't want to watch my videos? Don't watch my videos. I don't give a crap. You know what I mean? So, but it is that's the little trick in Instagram world. So for me, I'm going to tell you guys why I started a YouTube channel. I started a YouTube channel to start a drum lesson business when I was out of work. That's what I did. And I looked at YouTube as being like a calling card for me to get gigs because I was starting to hear people saying, well, can you play? How do I know you can play? Can you send me a video of you playing? And I thought, well, this is why I have to do this because I basically, if somebody says, hey, can he play? I said, yeah, go to my YouTube channel. Pick a genre you want me to play. You'll find me playing all different styles of music. So right now, I think YouTube and Instagram are what we call business cards in the old days. You know, I used to have my business card. They'd come up to me at a gig, and I hand you my card, say, yeah, call me for another gig. That'd be great. But I know that's not for everybody. That's kind of what I do with it. So I got Jonathan Sensi on. Hey, Jonathan. Hey, Earl. Great to see you live on YouTube. Love your videos. You are a true master. Thank you, Jonathan. You are a great player, too. I enjoy your videos, too. So thanks for being on today. I see I've still got 11 people. We're talking about community. We're talking about Instagram. We're talking about YouTube. And I've got drum covers by Bill. Bill's been around a long time. He's done a lot of videos. So now that it's winding down for you a little bit because you're having a hard time finding content you want to play, are you watching videos as much? Or are you gone back to real life?
Oh no, I definitely watch videos. I mean, for a little over 3 years, I was making a cover every week, and I didn't realize how time consuming that was until I actually stopped doing it. And now I'm getting housework done again. I'm getting yard work done again. Riding the Harley more and a little bit more flying here and there. So
Oh, you're a pilot. I didn't know
I
that.
am, yeah.
That's
And
great. That's awesome.
I've said this in interviews, that my biggest fear was running out of content. I've literally covered every song I ever wanted to. And, um, if something comes up that I know I need to get in the studio, I need to make another cover. I just need to find a song that I want to do. And that right now, that's the hard part. So
Yeah.
I can't just sit down and play a song. It's got to be something that I feel. If I can't feel the song, I won't cover it. And I just haven't found anything that, hey, gosh, I need to get in and cover this song. That's just where I'm at right now.
I think finding good content for our channels is another part of the problem for all of us. I mean, I'll go back to my friend Chadwick, who's not on today, but he drops in a lot of Saturdays. And Chad's a great player, and he's been doing a lot of the newer music. But to play the newer music for me is you've got to play over top of what the other drum machine part was or whatever it is, the dance groove that they do. And then you got to put your personality on it. And my problem is I don't think that way. I think of the music and playing it like the music. And I like making music, and I'm not choppy, so I don't enjoy the choppy thing. But there's guys that play over that stuff, and really, some of it's really cool. I mean, I really enjoy some of it, but I can't see me playing that music. I have a hard time. I don't connect to it. Like you said, if you don't connect to the song, then why am I playing it? So I'm going backwards and I'm playing all these older tunes, which I love playing, but there's not the connection to the younger guys who are all hearing 90s and 2000s music that, they're 20 years old and they don't connect. So unless you're somebody that's going back and trying to find the classics, you're not connecting. So I've been playing this year a lot of R&B stuff, like Aretha Franklin, Wilson Pickett, Stax, Muscle Shoals rhythm section stuff, which they played on a lot of great music. So there's a lot of good music there. If you go back and find the Motown, the Stax stuff, the Muscle Shoals stuff, there's a lot of old songs that are out there to do. So I've been going back to that, and some of that's really good groove stuff, really fun groove stuff to play. And that's what I want to do. I want to play groove stuff, even though once in a while I like to throw something in to show I can play something crazy. I do just enjoy playing pocket for some reason. So let's see. Let's see. Tay says you still have the link, girl. I'd love to join its Instagram bash. I don't know if did you try the old link? See if the old link works. I wanted to know that question, Tate. If you want to jump in, do I have you on? I can send you the link too on Facebook if you want to jump in. I'd love to have you come on today. So, Bill, tell us a little bit more about your life story while I'm trying to do this silly stuff on the iPad here.
Not a whole lot to tell.
That's not a great. Tell us about your flying experience. So I'm trying to find.
I actually didn't get my pilot's license until, about 12 years ago. A friend of mine and I wanted to start a flight ministry
Mm-hmm.
to get at-risk youth up into the air and let them fly the aircraft. We both ended up getting our pilot's license. We both bought a plane and rented a huge hangar and started Change for Life.
That's
And
cool.
we'd get at-risk youth up into the air, let them take the controls, fly the plane. And I'm happy to say that one of our students just recently got a full scholarship to Lakeland Aeronautical Academy. He's going to be a commercial pilot.
That is awesome. That's a great opportunity for a young person and get them off the streets and
It's
ministering to them.
important
That's
to let
very
them know
cool.
they can do anything they want to if they put their mind to it. They make the right decisions.
That's doing something good for people. That's awesome.
That's important.
Yeah.
It's important to help youth. I've always been a big fan of helping youth, and especially troubled youth that have made some bad decisions in their life, and just kind of assure them it's not too late, that they're still young and they're entitled to make some mistakes, but now's the time to start making the right decisions and realize you can do anything you want to if you put your mind to it. And some of them take the advice, some of them don't.
That's awesome, Bill. That really is. So that's great. By the way, Tate, I did send you that link, so it's on your Facebook Messenger if you want to jump in. That's part of why I do drum community too, is to pour into people. You know, I've taught a few drum lessons because of my YouTube channel. Tate, not Tate. Sean Woodley's one of them. I actually taught what's his name? Michael from Canada, the metal Mikey V. I taught Mikey V some brush lessons early on. He did some Skype lessons with me. It's crazy what we can do with the internet today. It allows us all kinds of crazy stuff. But all right, you want to stick around, Bill, for this? Was I bring Tate in?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, let's stick around. Let's add Tate to the stream today. Hey, Tate, how are
Hey,
you?
hey,
today?
what's up?
How's it going?
So you want to
I'm
talk
good. How
about
about you guys?
Well, I'm doing okay. You want to talk about a little bit of Instagram, right?
Well, yeah, you're the one that got me all fired up.
Well, go for it. You've got way more followers than I got on Instagram, from what I can tell.
Yeah, I don't know what are you at right now? Like,
I have 600 and change.
oh, okay, I thought you were closer to 1,000.
I can't break it, Tate. I'm telling you, I cannot break through. There's no breaking through on Instagram.
Well, yeah, it takes forever, and like, so from people that have worked hard to gain their followers, know that when you see somebody that like has all this hype and they've got more followers than Steve Gadd, you kind of know what the deal is and that there's something fishy going on. And that's the stuff that just really bothers me. And I've been quiet about it for too long, but I've had conversations with other people, so I know I'm not the only one. And there's only so much that I will say, so that I don't look like too much of a mean person, because I'm really not. But at the same time, I think that us working drummers have to kind of stand up for ourselves. There's only so much beating that we can take per se, because there's certain people that just like make drumming seem like something that it's not. And I'm sure you guys have seen this in one way or another. They make it seem like it's not music, and then it's a sport, and then it's competitive, and that it's a game, and like that's in my opinion where all these like drummer jokes come from that make no sense in my opinion. Like people just want to knock drummers and act like we're not real musicians, and people that profit and, you know, make names for themselves by doing stupid crap or stuff that just has no musicality to it at all is what kind of does that, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, you're no kidding, no doubt about it. Instagram is just filled with guys who just blow stuff all the time. It just
Yeah, and
blow
like
it.
you don't ever hear or see of them playing gigs or anything like that. Like that's all they're doing. And
Yeah,
so they're riding a different train, but when people try to put us drummers that are actually playing music and playing gigs and working, they try to put us on in that same category as this person that's just there for entertainment purposes and whatnot. I mean, yeah, as musicians, when we perform, we're there to entertain, but at the same time, we're creating music. We're not just creating this like thing that people ooh and ah at.
but it's partially the drum company and the cymbal companies and the drumstick companies and the head companies.
Oh yeah,
Problem. Problem. Like I watched a video this week on Peisty. I'm a big Peisty fan, playing Peisty cymbals. They had this kid. His name's Little D, I think that he goes by. I've never seen him on Instagram. Um, dude, the dude was blowing from square one. He just did. He didn't do one groove. It was just lick and blowing, and he for 3 minutes. And I just couldn't help myself but basically say something, and I did. And I got flack for that because I said, matter of fact, I'll find the comment to read it to you. But this, I mean, I got crap from this guy.
yeah. I mean,
Though,
I posted a thing on my I've posted a couple things on my story now, and I've had both people that have sent me messages like backing me, like yeah, you're right, and other people that don't get it, like they just do not
yeah.
get it. It's really funny. George Flutis talks a lot about it. I've had
Oh yeah.
conversations with him about it. Who you still need to get on here at some point. I will advocate for you
Well,
when I
thank
talk
you.
to him next that you need to have him on at some point. But
I would love to have George on. George is a great player.
mhm.
There's some great drummers. He's one of them. I
Yeah,
mean, he can play anything. He can play any. He grew up in that era where you had to play anything.
yes,
Jim's
but he's
Fly
very
too
down to
is another
earth.
guy.
Like he is a real deal player, but he'll take the time and have a conversation with you, which is the really cool thing about him. But
Yeah, I mean, I love just hanging out and just talking drums, and that's what this topic is today is community. But anyhow, I basically said something about this kid, and then I got blown off by this guy. This guy really was not happy with me. Um, let's see if this is it. Nope, that's not it. I get too many comments, but
Hey, Cherry.
if you find that Peisty video, guys, go watch the newest Peisty video. And there's this kid. The kid's great, and I said that. I said I think the kid is great. But what are the drum companies? What are they promoting? They're telling us that this is how you become something.
yes,
I'm not going to get a Peisty endorsement. I can't get it. Nobody's going to hand me drumsticks. You know what I mean? Not even at the C rate. You know, the C endorsement deal. You know,
yeah,
they're willing to let's give this kid something because he's got a. You know, he's going to be great. I mean, when I saw Tony Royster Jr. play, he was his father. I mean, I saw Tony Royster Jr. do a drum clinic at 13 years old. Actually, I saw him at 12 at Modern Drum Festival, and then I saw him at 13 in a music store. Tony Royster is a great player. He can groove, but he had all that fire, and I'm all for having the fire when you're young. Like you've got fire too, Tate, but you know how to play
well, I
musically.
appreciate it.
You know how to play musically. You know when to bring it in. But if it's just playing chops all the time, what is that? You know what I'm saying? It's not music. We're not teaching anybody music. Hey, I got to say hi to a few people who jumped in. Sam Beat 7. Hi. Jonathan Sensei. Sherry. I never see Cherry. Cherry loves you, Bill. And I think, are you on for Bill, Cherry? Cherry likes to.
Cherry Jim is awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Cherry,
Bill, you
Cherry.
said you don't have Instagram?
I don't.
Okay, well,
No.
don't get it.
After listening to you guys talk about it, I don't think I will.
I mean, listen, it's a great place. I mean, I've met and become friends with a lot of people on there. You know, I've connected with a lot of people, found a lot of great people on there. But at the same time, it's a dangerous road to walk, and I feel I'm more bitter about it now than I am pleased.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
don't get.
Mass Drummer.
Don't.
Mass Drummer just joined us. How you doing, Mass Drummer?
We got the
Good to
mass
see
drummer
you.
on too, and HLR Hasty. Bang bang. My new guy. He says bang bang and happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Just to let you all know that it is Father's Day weekend, so I want to say
It
that to
is. Happy
everybody.
Father's Day, everyone.
But going back to this is the interesting thing about Instagram and YouTube. YouTube, you have to work a lot harder to get subscribers. It seems like than Instagram. Like
Yeah.
it's hard to get a lot of subs on YouTube. But I'm not saying there's not ways, I mean, to do it. But Instagram is it's a whole game over there right now, and I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sick of playing the game.
But I have met some cool people. Like George is one of the people I've met. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so there are, and some of the great drummers are on Instagram, and that's the reason alone to follow from that perspective. Mass Drummer, hello.
Good morning,
So let's see
Michael Perry.
and Michael Perry, hello. Masters, in the end of the day, it's making the song feel good. I couldn't agree more.
Amen. I agree.
That's what music's
Yeah.
about, is making the song feel good. So, Tate,
Yeah.
what are some of the things you're working on right now since I got you on here?
Right now, I'll tell you real quick because I do have to head out here. I'm headed out to a gig today. Right now, I'm learning some jazz tunes just for school. Like I'm learning the tunes that I'll have to play for my fall jury just to kind of get a head start on them. So like learning the melody, singing the melody, being able to play it on the drums, being able to play over the form, this and that. Um, I'm learning a couple Chicago tunes to do covers for, but I've got more music for some upcoming gigs that I have to learn. That's kind of like what's been most holding me down. So I haven't been as busy on YouTube. And I think it's kind of going to stay that way just because things have been picking up now as far as gigs and whatnot. So
Yeah.
doing covers twice a week hasn't been the top priority just because I've had to learn tunes for
How
some
many gigs
upcoming
do you
gigs.
got? I mean, you're out there working. That's great. It's open.
Yeah, I have a gig this weekend. I'm doing a weekend in upstate New York. Next weekend, we're doing the New York State Blues Fest. I'm playing with a guitarist named Gabe Stillman. He has a new record coming out in August. He's a really great blues guitarist from this area.
Cool.
And he won the Gibson Guitar Award for the best guitarist in the International Blues Challenge. How many years ago was that? A couple years ago now. So he's a staple name in blues music on the West Coast, or not West Coast, East Coast, around the East Coast. Anyways, so I have some sub gigs with him. So we're doing that next weekend. And then my band, Ash and the Facts, who does like funk, blues, rock, soul music, stuff like that. Just feel good party music. We've got a bunch of stuff in July. So things are good. I'm happy that I'm able to get out and gig. It's been really great. So
That's great that it's opened up
awesome.
finally. It's finally
Yeah.
opening up for people, and people are going out again and watching bands. So you're doing mostly in clubs, I guess, club type gigs.
yeah, we've got there's a lot of outdoor venues around here that have, either outdoor patios or stages out. There's this one place that I'm really looking forward to playing that's like along a creek, and they have like a sand pit and stuff. So people dance and party at this place. So
You have a good
there's
PA
a lot of
system?
venues like that, which are a lot
You
of
guys
fun.
using a good PA system, mic in the drums and everything?
Most of the venues we're doing are not big enough to require that. Like usually, if I were to mic the kit at any of these gigs, I'd probably just do overheads and a kick drum mic, and maybe the snare if I have enough channels. But
How do you find playing outdoors and like one of the things I've noticed about every time I have to play outside, and I've done a lot of outside gigs, like on backs of trucks and trailers, and
yeah,
kind of strange gigs like that in my lifetime, is that drums don't really carry outside. In a room.
yeah. I mean, I do tend to tune a little bit differently. Usually a little bit higher. I'll tune the drums so that they can that those pitches can carry a little bit more. But yeah, usually for most of the gigs that I have around my area, I can get away with kick and two overheads, and I get everything I need.
Yeah,
So
I think that you're probably correct about that. That probably would work great. But cool. Well, that's
Yeah.
great that you're doing some gigs, and you're gonna. So, which is the next Chicago tune you're gonna do?
right now, I'm working on Poem for the People. That's pretty much there. So
That was on which one was that? 2 or 3?
two. That's two.
Two.
And today I have a Steely Dan cover coming out,
Oh, cool.
which
one?
I'm not even sure if it's an actual drummer because it's a tune from Gaucho, but I know they use Steve Gadd's drum sounds, so I just said it was Steve Gadd. But I think it's one of the tunes that they use that drum machine on. So
Wendell, yeah, Wendell.
yeah,
was
I'm
on
not
it.
even positive if it's actual drums, but that's a whole nother rabbit hole that we could go down. I have to head out. So it was
All
good
right,
talking to
Tate.
you, Bill and Earl. I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys having me on for a second.
Thanks.
See everybody.
Coming on, Tate, man.
I didn't get a chance to look at all the comments, but thanks everybody.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
I'll see you
Thanks for
around.
being on, Tate. See you.
Yep. Take care.
Bye. All right. Well, it's cool. Nice having guests on today. We still got Bill here with us. So Tate's one of the new young guys. They're really knocking him out. I mean, he knocked me out, and I found him doing Chicago tunes. I was like, because everybody that knows me knows I love to do Chicago tunes, but Tate's got he's playing with the record, and he's playing the right parts, and makes some guys very happy. I don't make people happy necessarily. But Cherry says she loves Chicago. Yep, love Chicago too. So, guys, your questions still make the show. So we don't have to talk about YouTube drumming community anymore if you guys don't want to. We can talk about other things. I do have a hard break at 11 because I will go do my yoga class with my wife, like I promise her every week. We've got a great, and hi Tim, drum brag is on, Tim from the UK. Thanks for being on. Anyhow, just witnessed an accident. Well, the aftermath. Have to go to a gig. Thanks for being on, Tim. Love seeing you. People jumping in today. 17 people are on today. Thank you all for being on. Your questions make the show. So, you guys have a question? So finding material is tough for you right now, Bill. Let's
It is.
Yeah. I mean, don't hurt myself. What did Cherry say? Don't hurt yourself. I hurt myself doing yoga. Oh, I know you can hurt yourself doing yoga. I do very gentle yoga, Cherry. That's my thing. Okay. I mean, very, very gentle yoga. So that's why I do it. But if I don't stretch my body out, I'm too old now. I can't handle this anymore. I have to do more. So where did Michael Perry say something? I must have missed that about 500 comments ago.
What do you do? Hey, Michael, I'm working on it. I'm just trying to find a song that I want to cover. I've covered everything I've ever dreamed of covering, and I literally ran out of songs. And since I stopped doing covers every week, I found myself doing more yard work and spending time with Lynn, riding the Harleys, flying, whatnot. And I walk past the studio every day thinking, gosh, I really got to get back in there and do something. So soon, hopefully.
Hopefully you'll find some new things. Hey, I got Trey B on today. Trey, we were
Trey
talking about
B
you.
in the house. What's up, Trey?
Trey killed another cover they released yesterday. You were tearing that thing up. Man, I swear, your double bass stuff just kills me, Trey.
Out of this world.
Totally kills me. I don't know, man. I have developed this new arm issue I have in my left arm occasionally. And when I play too long and too hard, and I'm having to lighten up on my touch. I think my technique, I need to work on my technique is where I'm at now. And I am starting to work on my technique. This is one of the things I'm trying to do. But I'll tell you, yesterday I was playing a Lee Ritenour tune yesterday. So that's one of the tunes I'm working on is a Lee Ritenour tune. Actually, I already did it. It's already done. I just have to release it one of these days. But it's a tune called Rio Funk. And I was killing it. And last night I started feeling it right up in here. So,
I've got that same pain in my right arm, same place, shoulder.
Yeah, but I think it has to do with the way I hit and the way I hold the sticks because it has something to do. It all comes down the whole muscle, when I'm holding the sticks. So I think working on technique is really important. So one of the things I'm trying to do is actually practice, which I don't frown upon practicing. I just don't practice. I'm too honest with people. But you need to practice if you want to keep your you got to keep technique going if you want to keep playing when you get older, because this is a physical instrument. Drumming is physical. And if you play like Trey plays, gosh, if you don't have that physical stuff down, you're done, man. I can't. He comes over the head and comes down. I mean, I don't know how you do that, Trey. You're killing me, man. There's a couple of guys that are just so good with the show stuff. I never had that, I'm just lucky to get my 2 and 4 in there. That's it for me. So. But guys, your questions make the show. I know we're just kind of rambling right here. We're trying to find the next thing to talk about. But I'm going to put up the other ticker so you all know. Please subscribe, like, share, and subscribe. I don't do that to the guys. Were you big on the like, share, and subscribe thing on your videos, Bill? Did you put a lot of comments, like, share, and subscribe all the time? Some
What's
guys are really
that?
good at that.
Yeah, I mean that's just an automatic in my description, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I forget to do that. And how about openers? You used to have an opener, right? You had like
I
you
actually,
know.
on the last video I did, I forgot to put my I actually didn't realize until I published it. I forgot to put my intro screen in.
Yeah.
It's like, good Lord. And I think Michael Perry noticed it. He hey, you didn't put an intro. You didn't use your intro screen. It's like, oh my gosh, I sure didn't. I
Well,
forgot to put the intro in.
my intro screen is the same intro screen I've had for the last 4 years. The only thing that's happened is I've changed the way I use it. It's 10 seconds. It says Earl, the Hammer Bennett drum cover. That's all it says. But it was basically this. That's the little bright splats. It was
Yes.
like that noise, and I made that like early on. But I think right around this time my son passed, it was like I discovered this thing where you could actually fade it, in a way where you could actually make just the lettering show up and not the background, kind of fading it in over my videos. And that's what I started putting on all my videos. And I don't even have 10 seconds up front anymore. It's like the music starts and all my little thing comes on for 10 seconds. And no matter if there's an intro there or there's a drum fill, it doesn't really matter. I just put it on top. Because I always find I want to skip through everybody's intro, because once you've seen it one time, it's like you're done with it.
I'm finding myself doing the same thing. It's like, okay, let's get past the intro and just kind of slide it forward a little bit. So maybe I think I'm probably not going to use an intro anymore.
Yeah.
Just go right into the cover and let the music play.
Yeah, I mean that's I've kind of like, why make a big intro, like, and that would seem to be the thing to do early on, was like, I do have an intro to this show. This show's got an intro I just kind of redid, and it was actually a song my son played. I played drums to it's one of my son's pieces, so it's like my original music, so YouTube can't block me on it, or take my money from me. Hey, we got some more people on that friends. Jim's Flies 2's on. Good morning, Jim. Now Jim's another guy. Jim's a great jazz drummer, rock drummer, general gigging drummer. And Jim, I got to get you on this show one day. We were talking about people I need to get on. You're somebody I'd like to talk to you about some of your crazy stories, because he's got some stories that he just told one about his early gigging experiences and being in the musicians union that was so reminiscent of what I've went through early on in my career, how I started. And good morning, Nick.
Good morning, Nick.
I don't know why I'm up so early. Probably crazy heat. Laugh out loud. So Nick? Are you from California? Or are you from somewhere else? I'm not sure where Nick's from, but love Nick's playing. Great drummer. Plays those. He's got nice his electronic kit's huge too. It's. I mean, I guess to have a huge electronic kit, you have to have multiple modules and all kinds of stuff.
Or a lot of splitters.
Yep. And good morning, Gunter. You're on today too. Hello.
Jamico, good morning.
Yep.
Sherry says that the boyfriend's trying to get me to move to Florida. Lived in Jacksonville for 7 years, now wants to go back. I don't know where you're at now, Sherry, but it's really hot down here in Florida. These summers are getting brutal.
I don't know. I like Florida, but
these summers are getting brutal.
Yeah, they just start early and they stay until November, right?
They never end.
So, all right, let's see. Jim, you want to do it? We'll work that out. We'll talk offline. On next week, I'll try to get you in on this. We'll see what we can do. Or the next time we do this. I'm not sure I'm doing this next week. I may do an Ask Girl Anything next week. But the next time we do this, let's try to work one in where we can get you in. And Trey, you'd like to do one too? There's, if any of you guys want to do anything offline or on one of my videos, say, hey, I'd like to be on the show on a Saturday morning, and I'd love to have you guys on. I got Bill on just by accident. It was just like,
it was definitely spur of the moment. I wasn't expting that.
I was trying to get Drum Man on, but he said no, I can't do it. So I was like, oh crud, all right, But yeah, rock and roll. Let's see what
Pennsylvania.
Mass Drummer said. One of the Best field guys was Jim Gordon. Sad story as he is. Jim Gordon. Yeah, Jim Gordon. I don't know if you younger drummers probably don't know anything about Jim Gordon, but Jim Gordon was the drummer on so many records in the 60s and 70s. And he played with Mad Dogs and Englishmen, Delaney and Bonnie. He played with Jackson Brown. He co-wrote Layla with Eric Clapton, which I heard he stole that piano lick from his girlfriend or something. There was some crazy story about
Oh,
that.
wow.
But his name's it's in the credits. Okay, he was a multi percussionist, and he was a LA studio session heavy, but he was dealing with depression in his life and schizophrenia. And in 1983, I think it was, he killed his mom, and now he's in prison. He's never coming out. He's been allowed to come out they've been trying to parole him for 20 years now, but he doesn't want out. He's just living in prison. So that's a very sad story, Jim Gordon. But
Wow.
he was one of the great drummers of the
I didn't
60s
know
and
that.
70s. Yeah, one of the great drummers of the 60s and 70s. So, Drummico says something nice. Wow, two of my YouTube
Jamico,
heroes.
you rock.
That's right. Definitely. And Trey, yes, that'd be great. Hit me on Instagram. That's a good place to get me. We were just talking about Instagram. Oh my gosh, we went up and down Instagram. Why we all hate it, because of what Instagram has become. But it is a necessary evil. I think if you're a musician working today, it's almost like you got to have YouTube and Instagram. Because if you want to get gigs, there are people that will find you in those places, and it is a calling card. You know what I mean? So let's see what Bill, if you're low on songs you're digging.
Carol Baskins.
K-pop song with wow.
Yeah,
Well, give me
there we go.
so that's something to think about, Bill. You might want to do that one.
I might have to give it a whirl.
I have no idea who K-pop is even, but
Korean pop.
is that what K-pop is? Korean pop? There are so many different types of music today, and I mean it is so out there right now. I would like to do some of the what's that group that's really popular and they do a lot of old songs. They're young, and I see a lot of guys covering their stuff. I think Gunter just did one of them. I'm trying to think. What's the name of that band? Oh, I'm just 60 years old, growing brain farting right now. But there are some these young bands that pay homage to kind of the older guys, and they play grooves and stuff. What was it? Scary Pockets, I think, is one of them. And then there's another group. There's Frequent Flyers. No, Frequent Flyers is a drum, isn't it? I think it's a drum, Frequent Flyer. You guys got to help me. Help me out here. All right, let's see. We got a question for Bill. Bill, what's your favorite on the road story?
Well, the first one that comes to mind. I had a '69 Camaro back in the '80s, and I could actually fit my kit into the car and just have enough room to sit in it and shift gears. We were playing at a place called Button South down in Hallandale. It's down in Fort Lauderdale, South Florida area.
Yeah.
We played there on Saturday nights, and I came out after the show to found my car sitting on blocks. Somebody had stolen the wheels and tires off of it. So
in Florida, wow, that's something here in New York. That's a New York story you just told.
That's probably my craziest on the road story. I was not happy that night.
I was in a band, and we did an album, and we decided this was the band that Saved by Grace I was in, and we went to Washington State to do a tour because the lead singer knew somebody in Washington State, and they booked a little 7-day tour up in Spokane, Washington. And the keyboard player and I had jobs, so we flew out there. We took a week vacation to do this gig. My drums went with them in this rickety pickup truck camper top thing. It drove all across my Gretsch drums. They went all across the state, and then they had to come all the way back. And there's so many stories from that that I could tell so many stories from that. But the one story I want to tell is about my drums. My drums almost didn't get back here because they were on I-80 coming across Nebraska or somewhere, I forget, and they hit a patch of black ice and they spun out, and luckily they didn't crash the whole thing.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my God. And my drums came back to me. It was like, when I heard they told me that story, I was like, oh, I didn't realize what I was doing, putting my whole, everything I had. That was my only kit. I'd still like, it's really my only kit still, you know, like the other ones are like pieced together things that I use for gigs and stuff. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. I just saw this. Gunter also had to say, I saw your 2 channels first on YouTube, was inspired to do one. Since then, my wife hates you. Well, that's good to know.
Oh no.
It's good to know we're hated by wives. That's good. Thanks for sharing that with us. We do appreciate that on
Yeah,
Father's
thank
Day
you, Bill
weekend.
McCoy. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So let's see. Anybody else? Got any questions, thoughts? I actually started this live stream early, and Bill picked up on that. So thanks for being on early. I freaked everybody out that you can actually start a live stream anytime you want, but I've been trying to promote it at a certain time. That's been one of my things, and of course, keeping people on is a whole nother things. You know, the funny thing is, at the end, when I see the statistics that I've had 70 people, I don't know if that means the same 15 people bounced in and out 3-4 times, or if I had new people come in and out different times. You know, you just never know. But I appreciate all of you that watch my show and enjoy this format, and I enjoy talking to people. And Bill, you've been a great guest today. Thank you for
Thank you
jumping
so
on.
much for having me. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Yeah.
It was fun, as always.
It's been a lot of fun, and I don't know if you want to have any parting words about community you want to say.
Well, just being here today has inspired me to get back into the studio and do some more covers. I need to find something to do, and I mean, I know there's a lot of love out there, and I certainly appreciate it from everyone. I know the community's fractured here and there. It's not what it used to be, but you know, everybody's still out there having fun and doing their thing, and that's at the end of the day, that's what counts, having fun. So I really appreciate you having me on here today. It was a surprise for the moment. I wasn't expecting it. Thank you. Love you, man. Appreciate it. Thanks everybody for being here today. It's a lot of fun.
I love you too, Bill. And, you know, truthfully, I want to see you get back in because you were one of the staples in this community. You're one of the guys that drew me into the community. And I do think that the community is why I continue to go back. I was saying this to my wife yesterday. I said, I don't know why I do this. I really don't. People ask me, like last week, the question was, what's your plan going forward? I don't have a plan. There is no plan. I don't even have a plan for this weekend what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to go do yoga with my wife in a few minutes, and then I'm going to come back in here, and somehow I'll just start making drum covers, and I'll film Ask Girl Anything, and things like that. But I don't have a plan. I don't know what I'm doing here. I do this, and this is what happened. This is where this idea for community came in from was she said something. She says, you do this because you like the people. You like hanging out with these people. This is why you do this. You do it for the community. And she was right.
And to have a wife to support you, that's everything, man. I'm blessed.
You're not kidding. That is everything. If
Very
your wife
blessed.
doesn't support you, then that's it, man. That's completely it. And if it wasn't for my wife, I would not be doing this. She was the one who said, you need to get out in front of the camera and do this. She said, you need to get on camera and tell your stories because you have so many stories about drums and drummers and you know so much. You need to get out there and do this. So that's why I did it. I wouldn't do it otherwise. So thank you, Bill, for being on. Thank you, everybody, for being on the show today and hanging out with me. And those of you that want to jump on Jim's Fly 2 and Trey, give me a ring or a message or something on Facebook or Instagram, and we'll try to get you on one of these shows and we'll talk. And we'll talk about what you guys are doing because I like hearing about what other guys are doing, you know, more than me. And I mean, I can answer questions all day about what sticks I like to play and heads and all that stuff. But, you know, it's nice to just talk to people too. I enjoy this. So thank you, Bill, for being on.
Thank you.
Thank you all. And everybody have a great Father's Day weekend, man. And talk to you again soon, everybody. Bye.
Thanks a lot, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you, Bill.